Hi, I'm Robert Butler, COO and Head Trainer for HireWell Now. Today we're going to cover the profile grid and how to interpret the data. So first, let's go to an applicant's dashboard by clicking the Review Applicant button on the main menu. Then we'll click Search and bring up the entire list of applicants in our inventory, and then we'll click the Review button next to the applicant's name that we wish to review. So today we're going to review Joe Sample's survey scores as they relate to the position of Sales Manager. To recover the profile grid, we simply click the little grid box next to the score for Sales Manager. A quick PDF pops up, and there we go. Now, reading the grid is very easy once you understand the components. First, you see the traits listed down the left-hand side, which are all 10 traits that are measured by the Personality Plus survey. Then we have a numerical scale between 1 and 12 for each trait. This is simply a way to gauge the extremes for each trait. Landing lower on this scale, or a 1, will suggest a less evident level of this trait, where a 12 on the scale will indicate an extremely high level of the trait. For example, a 1 on organization would mean that the applicant is relatively disorganized, whereas a 12 means the applicant is highly organized. Next, we see the green range. This is the range created by top performers of the sales management category. In other words, this is where the most successful sales managers landed when they took the survey on this scale. The dot is where the applicant landed on the scale, so interpretation is very, very simple. If the dot is inside the green range, then the applicant fits in with top performers for that trait in that particular position. If the dot is outside of the green range, then your applicant doesn't share the same personality characteristic as the top performers do. Finally, there's the composite score on the right-hand side. This score is used to give a numerical value to how well an applicant can be expected to fit this position. If the applicant scores within the green range, then he or she will earn a perfect 10 on that trait. The further outside the green range, the lower the composite score will be. The composite scores are added up for each trait, giving a total score out of a possible 100 for that position. Simply put, the closer to 100 an applicant scores, the more likely he or she will be a top performer at that position, and the better they'll fit the job you're asking them to do. So the score breakdown is like this. A 90 to 100 represents an excellent fit. 80 to 90 equals a good fit. 70 to 80 gives you a pretty marginal fit, and then anything below 70 would be considered a very poor fit. Beware when hiring someone below 80 on this scale, because you just might be asking this person to come to work every day and be somebody they really aren't. How long do you think they'll last? As an example, let's take Joe when he's compared to the position of sales manager. He scored an 85, which means he's probably worth looking at for a hire. But let's look at why he's merely a good fit as opposed to an excellent fit. This will tell us how much work we have in front of us to get Joe up to the level of being a top performer. So first, he got a composite score of 4 out of 10 on organization, which is way outside the green range. Well, this is because he appears to be relatively disorganized when compared to our national profile of top performing sales managers. Yeah, he might be a tad insensitive, just scored 1 outside the range, and maybe a little too flexible. Again, he's 1 dot outside the range. And then, of course, when it comes to recognition needs, same deal. He's just 1 dot outside the range. So we can deal with that. But when we look at organization, we can see that all we need to do to get Joe's score from 85 to 91 is make up for those 6 points he lost by being so poorly organized. So we can do that either by providing him with tools and procedures to help him with organization, or perhaps even give an assistant to him that can help him compensate for that organization. So now if we do that, we just bump Joe's score up from an 85 to 91 by compensating for one trait. So you can see how using the profile grid can be very valuable when determining how well an applicant will fit a position. Not only will we determine if they're cut out for the job, but we can also tell what areas we will need to work on should we decide to move forward in hiring the applicant for that position. Finding a person's extreme personality traits can be the difference between hiring your next exit interview and hiring your employee of the year. For tips on using advanced psychometrics to create your dream team in your industry, go to hirewellnow.com. Thanks and have a great day.